Hey, good day, everybody. It's Drew here. I'm with Josh, and it's an emergency episode. The sirens are going off, and they're not going we war. They're not going we you. They're going switch to, switch to. The switch to is official, and there's a couple of surprises, but I don't know. There's a few things we've already seen as well. Josh, what do you think straight off the bat? We've gotten the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement. What do you think?
Drew, great to be with you. Thank you for coming on and joining us for this special session. This was great, and also the last week has been a little crazy, hasn't it? With all this rumor and speculation, what we're going to get. Every day there was something brand new, something different, leaking about this Switch 2, and then we've gone to this reveal, and it's pretty much confirmed everything that's happened. Everything that's leaked, everything that's gone out, and it just means that, they were right. Everyone that leaked it had hands-on to the actual hardware. People knew the specs. And then Nate the Hate, this podcaster, knew the date, and it was one of the first to leak it. It all got corroborated and backed up, and the waiting game started, didn't it, Drew? People were waiting, and nothing happened at certain times. Thursday morning for us. Then there was a bit of like, oh, maybe it's Thursday night here for us in Australia. And it was a good time all across the world because it's 8 a.m. in the morning in the US. It's still the afternoon in Europe. We finally got it, Drew. I'm just glad we have it now. I'm glad it's out there. I'm glad there's official video photos of it now, which is really good. How are you feeling about that? Are you feeling like it's like a bit of relief? We don't have to deal with these leaks anymore. It's out there. It's done.
Yeah, it is very much that situation of just like, oh, thank God, there it is. All right, cool. We can move on to the next stage. Just sort of get over it, because for the most part, like, this thing has been leaked to all hell, just as far as the appearance, the motherboard, all of that. Yeah. We're still yet to get into what is really exciting, is like the features, the games, all of that, and we've still got a little bit of a wait as far as finding out that information, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, it is nice just to finally get that confirmation and all of that. But I just want to talk about maybe what your experience was discovering this thing, because for me, I don't know, it was kind of a little bit underwhelming in some ways. I got up early this morning when Layla woke up. I sat at the computer. I didn't have my phone, and I'm not logged into social media on my computer, so I just went, I wonder if the Switch 2 was announced. And I literally just typed it in the Google. It comes up with a press start article at the very start, being like, Switch 2 has been officially revealed. I'm like, oh, cool, there it is. And I watch the trailer and I see what it is, and it is 100% what was leaked. Those models that I've been watching videos of the magnetic Joy-Cons, the USB-C on top, the kickstand, which is a U shape, all of that. I'm like, well, that's it. It's official. That was it.
That was it. First look.
But were you up at the time when it was announced?
Yeah, I had read the Twitter murmurings, and that people were still doubling down that it was happening today. And then the idea was that a certain time is usually when stuff gets tweeted out or posted. I was in bed at 11 o'clock out Adelaide time, and then I heard maybe half an hour from now it might be happening. I'm like, okay, I'll stay up. I'll play this game. I've waited all day thinking it might be happening. I'll wait an extra 30 minutes. And so I did that. And the Discord for Nintendo was going off. So guys, join our Discords if you're listening and want to join in the hype and the chat that we've always had in there. But yeah, this got announced not at 11:30, but I reckon 11:32. So I almost went to bed straight away. I'm like, well, it was nice because I'm just like refreshing the Twitter of Nintendo of America. Even the Nintendo Australia, just in case, and just double checking, just seeing if it was there. It wasn't posted on the dot at 11:30. So just about to say, I said, well, good night everyone in the Discord chat, and then Eggman posts the link in the Discord. I'm like, it's actually happening. Got to watch it. Very cool. And it's almost like, because I watched it and it says an update from Nintendo, and it feels like one of those YouTube apology videos. It's just like an update from like YouTuber, and it's when, like, I don't know, it feels like when they apologize, and it's just like one of those weird
Doug Bowser said something
titled,
racist.
Yeah, that's right. And so it's like, what's going on here? But you obviously know.
Yeah.
And then we saw the video, which I think was really cool, and like not anything new for us, but obviously most people don't follow the leaks like we do, like on every single sort of bump and ride. And so a lot of people are going to wake up or saw it throughout the world the last few hours and like, okay, here we go. And it's actually real and genuine. Drew, at the end, I get annoyed at these, the direct date, and I'm going to say this again, they'll have the 2 numbers and then the year. And for us in Australia and a few other countries, it's different from what the US does. And Nintendo do this all the time. I'm just telling them, I'm going to say it again, just spell out the month and the date.
100%.
Just do it. Just spell it out, because I'm freaking out. Is it Feb or is it April? It can't be April. That's way too far away. That's way too long. Then I find out it is. So Drew, I want to know, how do you feel about the date? Because we got a little Mario Kart little tease in it. We're going to have to wait a while now. We're going to 2.5 months until we actually get any sort of more news on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually watching the reveal trailer on Nintendo UK's YouTube channel, and so it has the correct date for us here in Australia, the right sort of formatting for the date. And I was like, surely that's the American date. I'm like, surely not. And it actually got me looking around the internet straight away. I'm like, it is April. Jesus Christ. Really, I thought it was going to come out in April. That was my prediction on your show, that I thought we would be having it in our homes by then. But that's just when we're going to be finding out, what we're going to be playing on it and what the actual thing does. That's meant to get us, I guess, excited for it. But yeah, I mean, a lot longer wait than I anticipated. I wonder what the actual sort of release will be for it. Will it be released in November, like a traditional console? Or will it come out something like June? Because the roadmap at the moment is we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct in early April. And then here in Australia, we've got hands-on events at the start of May. Does that lead up to, say, a June, July launch? I kind of hope so. That's kind of best case scenario with the information we got at the moment. But yeah, man, a little bit longer wait than I anticipated. And for a normal person who doesn't podcast about it every week, I'm sure it's look, we'll find about it when we find out about it. But we were sort of really hoping we've got some substance to talk about, because, I think we can have fun really getting into sort of the Mario Kart stuff that was shown and all that.
Definitely.
But, man, 2.5 weeks. That was the disappointing thing for me. And we'll go over more of the specific sort of things we've seen of the Switch 2. But I think overall it was underwhelming. And that's not Nintendo's fault per se, but it's a Switch. It looks better. It looks great. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. And I can't wait to see what games are out. But it is very much like you've seen this, and it didn't have, we're in a different era of Nintendo where they're not as fun as they used to be. It is, they don't have it could have been an Apple trailer, it could have been a PlayStation trailer. It is just showing it off, but it is what it needs to be, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, it's Nintendo at their safest and most logical. And I think throughout the years, they've learned a lot about these sort of experiences, going from the very successful console to the next one. So many lessons learned from the Wii U, and you can see this on display right now. Even in the video, they just sort of, this is the OG Switch it starts with, but this morphs into the next thing, the Switch 2. The big 2 logo next to the Joy-Con Switch logo. Obvious, right as rain, is right there. Even the graphic at the end, they talk about the backwards compatibility. Because we thought it, they confirmed backwards compatibility, but didn't specifically say whether it would be physical as well, I believe. And so they spell it out in that graphic. They you can use your Switch cart from your Switch 1, you can move it to your Switch 2, insert it in, and you're good to go. You can play your Switch games on your Switch 2. So very deliberate. They know what they're doing here. This is Nintendo being boring, but it makes sense because the Switch has been so popular. We're going to get another generation. We're going to ride this Switch wave for possibly another 8 years. I don't know. Let's see. It's they're on a winner here. They know it, and so that's what they're going to do. So, Drew, I want to know, because we're going to wait 2.5 months, and we'll get a Direct. We'll get the new Mario Kart. There's a lot of things in that Mario Kart that we'll obviously talk through and discuss. I are you surprised that we're getting this world tour that we're gonna like? They're doing this very big like here's like your chance to play. They're really trying to pump this up, and I'm just surprised that I don't know. It just a lot of hoo-ha, and I feel like it's being spaced out more than I thought because we've had it released now and told about now, and so in a way, Switch One sales might drop off for the next like little while by a lot. So I'm just kind of surprised that there's a bit of spacing here. We've got like the reveal, the name, what it looks like, but like 2.5 months now until the games get talked about a bit more. Then a month and a bit after that of touring, and then another 2 months after that potentially, like July, August. I'm hoping June that we actually get to play this thing. So it's, I don't know. I'm just really interested in the mindset. Do you reckon they went a bit earlier now in mid-January because of all these leaks and things like just get something out there, or do you think it was always part of the plan and it didn't matter what was happening in the ethos?
It's hard to say because it follows the same sort of timing the original Switch did, like, you know, being teased earlier or late in the year when we sort of find out more at the big January showcase. But I think in this circumstance where like Switch, you really had to sort of wrap your head around the idea. Nintendo had to sell the concept of Switch. There's a lot more to sort of communicate with a brand new audience, but now they have a captive audience. They know what Switch is. This is the first Nintendo system that has 2 at the end of the system, at the end of the name. Sorry. So it is very much just, you know, I think a lot of people will be excited to upgrade, and they're already a part of the ecosystem. They've got games that'll carry over all of this. So
definitely,
my sort of thinking was there's going to be a lot less to communicate, and there's already people just ready to buy this thing. So I thought the rollout might have been a little bit quicker. That's why my sort of prediction was like, you know, April, you know, because there's, you know, 4 months. It would have been pretty fast to roll this out, but it seems like this was in production for a long time. The lifespan of the Switch gone for 8 years. They've had plenty of time to make launch lineups and all of that. So I thought it could have been sped up a little bit longer, but a little bit quicker. Sorry. So, but obviously not the case. They're still taking their time. Don't know, that just that 2 month gap between like this is what it looks like and knowing what it does is is frustrating to me. It's just like a month or 2 weeks or whatever, but
it's just a little bit too long.
Too long.
February was like prime time, I thought, to give us the direct about the games, and so we need to, like, if this is coming out in June or July, I think June's the earliest because the tour ends in June, and no point having a tour if it's already out. So we've got, obviously, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD yesterday, just came out. We've got Xenoblade Chronicles X in March. They're not going to do April, May, and then maybe June if it comes out in July with no games. So there'll have to be other announcements for OG Switch. I'm thinking there might be direct for OG Switch in January, in Feb now. Like, I'm just a little like surprised that they've delayed it a little. I really thought that was the last announced, like X would be the last announced game before this console came to be. So I don't know, I'm just a little surprised that there is a bit of a longer stretch here. Especially thinking they were trying to build that momentum a bit more. But hey, they've got their reasons, obviously. They're wanting to showcase this thing. Melbourne gets it for us in Australia. There's a whole tour. It'll be cool. It's an exciting time now. At least it's out there. I'm so relieved we don't have to talk about these leaks anymore. That was driving me up the bend because I didn't know whether they were real or not, or like what was happening. Like, is this all the same fake rumor that they keep talking about? Or is this actually the real thing? And so we have it now, which is very cool.
You say we don't have to talk about leaks. I've got to tell you, man, this just confirms what we knew. We can still get brand new leaks for what the system does, the OS, games.
Yes,
we've still got all of that. We've got 2.5 months of that. It's just going to ramp up from here, dude. It's going to get more and more.
It will not be hardware anymore. It was a lot of hardware stuff. And I'm like, yep, I think we've seen it now. I just want Nintendo to confirm it. So at least they've done that. What do you think of the... Sorry,
here you go.
What do you think of the look of it? Like, with the inverted like colors, because it's very much a deliberate like you got the colors on the inside, like the opposite of what the Joy-Cons had, because it was colored Joy-Cons with the black railing. Now it's the other way around, like the magnetic sides, the color. You've got color underneath the control sticks. It's very much inverted and a deliberate design change to make it stand out a bit more, because what is effectively the same looking thing, just a little bit bigger. What do you think of the look of it?
I mean, the physical hardware looks fantastic. It's everything I would have wanted in an upgraded Switch. Just like even from the original Switch to the OLED, like the OLED feels wonderful in the hand, just like with the metal backing and all of that. And this looks like it carries that over. Like the coloring of it, like with the black Joy-Cons, looks sleek. And I love like the sort of the trim that you mentioned with the blue and the orange on the Joy-Cons. It looks fantastic. The buttons look nice. They look like a little bit bigger. I got no idea about the sticks, like whether they're a little bit bigger because of like the bigger Joy-Cons. It'd be nice if they are a bit bigger, like if all of that becomes like more of a traditional controller. It all looks fantastic, and just like the quality of life stuff with the second USB-C on top. I think a lot of these devices are starting to put 2 charging ports on their devices now, just so you can obviously charge them in more situations. Like on tabletop mode, you've got it sat up, and not being able to charge it in that situation kind of sucks most of the time. Not that I use it like that much anymore, but it's a bit of an oversight if your Switch goes flat while you're trying to play Mario Kart with your friends at the pub or something like that. You got it sat on the table, or maybe you chuck it in the back seat of the car.
Yeah, that's right.
All of that, but the physical Switch looks great. I like the look of it, and I like how it. Obviously, we'll talk about the magnets and that too, and I think that that looks satisfying as well. But what are you thinking of the physical look? Yeah, the new sound. We've got a clunk
that sounds
sound.
Great. It looks strong. It feels strong.
I hope so.
That Joy-Con's like not going anywhere. I feel it's like clunk right in there. Drew, I've been waiting obviously 8 years for a new Switch. I have been the one to wait and bide my time. I love my OG Switch, and I commemorate how well of service it's done for me. The thousands of hours it's allowed me to play amazing Switch games. But I'm ready to move on. It's time to retire that mofo and get this bad boy into my hands. The U-shaped kickstand. I just can't wait to have something that properly can do tabletop mode a bit more. Because I've always been hesitant to do it, and then I like to take my Switch when I go traveling, when I go on a plane and things like that, and that kickstand is so bad. The OG kickstand's horrible. This U-shaped one, a bit like the OLED, not a flap, but a U-shaped one it's so much better. The feel of it, if I'm really hoping the Joy-Cons do stick in there and it does seem sturdy. You can grip it a bit more, and it's not going to bend a little like the current one does.
That's going to be my first thing. Like if I get to go to an event and try this thing, the first thing I'm going to do is hold the Switch 2 and just wiggle the Joy-Con. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I really, my biggest...
Is it working?
Yeah, that's right. Just smash on the ground. Is the Joy-Con staying in? Yeah, but my main thing is just like how sturdy the Joy-Con, because like I've mentioned before, it bothers me. Just like when you feel the Joy-Con wriggling on the OLED or the original Switch, it's like it just feels a little bit cheap, which I don't like the feel of. But
that's right. Yeah.
I hope this one just goes clunk in, and you've got to really rip it off.
That's right. The one thing I'm potentially disappointed in, because it sounds like it's not going to be an OLED screen. So I've waited so long. I'm like, I can't wait for the Switch 2 to have OLED at launch as default, and it seems I don't know for sure, but it probably isn't, and I'm just going to have to go OLED-less my entire Switch life, I feel, because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to buy another Switch 2. Unless it's a special edition Metroid or Pikmin or F-Zero or something. But outside of that, I'm only buying one Switch 2, I promise you.
Oh, you've heard it here. I'll definitely buy more.
Yeah.
I'll buy a few over the lifetime. But they'll do a light version on OLED. They'll do all the sorts. But, Techie Udon, who's a YouTuber, he started his company Retro Remake, and that's the company that I've ordered the OLED Switch Lite screen from that I'm waiting for. And he mentioned that if Switch 2 does not have an OLED screen, they will make one. And I'll buy it. I'll be very nervous about ripping my Switch 2 open and doing the screen, but I'll try it.
I'll trust myself to do it.
I'll definitely do my best because, for me personally, like OLED, I'm really, when it comes to like, say, because I want to get the Legion Go 2 that's coming out later this year, and that's because it's updating to an OLED screen. And when I'm spending money on these devices, obviously I'll buy a Switch 2, whatever it is, but when it comes to devices these days, like especially if I'm spending like a decent amount of money, I want it to be like a good screen because I mean I can just suck it up and get a cheaper version of it, but it just ultimately means that I won't play it because even like with the Switch before the OLED came out, I was sort of more drawn to just like other devices just because it was nicer to hold, nicer to look at. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about the OLED sort of lack of on the Switch 2, but oh well, slap it on the TV and forget about it, I guess.
Correct, via an OLED TV, and all your troubles disappear, I figure.
Just put the Joy-Cons on the side of the TV and just pretend, the TV's a big Switch.
Yeah, and, get your mouse pad ready, Drew. Buy that, get a nice flat gaming table, I don't know, for your lounge room now. Put your little mouse con is probably what it's going to be called. I don't know, when you do it that way.
Yeah.
Mouse con, not sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? They teased it a little without really showing it.
Yeah, actually, Bryce, he sent me a TikTok saying that the controllers already have drift because like they were drifting around. That was quite funny. That's quite clever.
That's pretty good.
Didn't think about that.
It's begun day one.
Yeah, it's like they got. Hopefully, speaking of drift, I hope they do have Hall effect sticks so that can eliminate the whole thing of drift. If they cheap out on that, that's a mistake. I think they should.
Especially after what happened last gen.
Surely that's priority number one. But yeah, the whole mouse feature looks cool. Looks like the Switch or the Joy-Con slots into like a little rail that's exposed, so you can still the sensor can still read the surface that it's on. I can see those just being chucked into my drawer and never been used, to be honest, because those little side bits on the Joy-Con at the moment, I actually prefer holding the Joy-Con without those on. It sort of makes it a little bit too wide to be comfortable when you're just holding one in each hand. So honestly, really? I can't see myself.
I like the rails on them.
Yeah, well, it's fair enough. That's
each to their own.
Yeah, that's right. But I can see myself just losing those little rails. Like I won't be carrying them around in the case and all of that. So I'll probably just be rubbing my Joy-Con, just ruining it on the table if I'm playing a certain game with the whole mouse thing.
Up. Yep.
It was very subtle. Like if it wasn't for the leaks where like, oh, is that an optical sensor and all of that, it would have been like, I don't know if anybody would have looked at it and went, oh, the Joy-Con's a mouse. Like,
it would have been maybe that's just a unique design choice for how they're showing them in this section here.
They're just they're making it
kind of
sliver like a snake or whatever.
A snake,
a sliver of a snake.
A little snake. So, yes, interesting. I just find it very interesting that they've done the bare minimum of what they needed to do before end of March because they said they would announce this thing and they've done that now.
It is.
Now we don't have to. We know that there might be a little bit before this direct, but I wouldn't expect too much more. So maybe more hardware stuff. I'm not sure yet. I really don't know. They could do so much with this. February is very empty for them at the moment. So I'm expecting something next month for them to talk about it a bit more and maybe show to drop some Switch games or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they get up to. Yeah,
it's just such a long wait. Like, it's just, I know we talked about it before, but it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how much time is going to be between it. Like, it's already felt so long.
Yeah, I know. It feels overdue as well. And it's like, now it's just like, just a little bit further, guys. Just wait a little bit longer. Because I think we were pretty adamant. I was adamant May or June. And it might be June, but I'm thinking now it's going to be later, like July or maybe August. I'm thinking July now. That's my guess.
Well, that's the thing too. I guess even if they did do that direct today, they just blow it out, they show us all the stuff, and then the launch is in, I don't know, just say August even. That's a big long wait between like, just like, oh, that game looks cool. When can I play it? And and when it comes out. So
whenever they've done like short turnaround times of games. Like I remember in 2020 when they announced Paper Mario: The Origami King. That was just a tweet during the COVID years, and that came out 3 months after. If we're getting a direct in early April, I'm thinking they want 3 months after minimum. So that's why I'm thinking July, May. So early April, May, June, July. So that's my guess. Can they do? I think that's the minimum amount of time with the marketing and distribution and getting the word out there for this Mario Kart game that they can do. And it kind of lines up with the this world tour. If that finishes in June, you get that chance to play it a little bit early with enough time that it's pretty special still. So that's my guess.
I do wonder when third parties are allowed to talk about their games as well.
Yes.
That's the next thing. Like, so we know what Switch 2 is, and they haven't mentioned any of their games. So when is Capcom allowed to say, hey, Monster Hunter Wilds, we can finally say is actually coming to Switch at launch? Resident Evil. Like, when are we going to be allowed to find out about these games? If you're an indie publisher, when are you allowed to say we are making a Switch 2 version as well? Because that's the biggest thing. Because I think everybody in the industry at the moment just has like duct tape over their mouth and they can't say anything. So when is that going to be able to be ripped off? And when can they say it? And when can they show us as well? Like, obviously Nintendo wants to have a big blowout, and they probably won't want developers just leaking, or not leaking it, but sharing it out before then, and maybe taking away some of the funder. So probably still have to wait for that opportunity as well, just to see what else is coming to it from everyone else.
Yeah, I don't know, because this direct could be massive if it's just dedicated to Switch 2 and third parties are waiting to get their stuff on at the same time. This could be, I know Switch OG launched with, Breath of the Wild really sort of taking the weight, and then you had a couple of indie developers who took a chance because the Wii U was so poorly received. They thought, let's now take a chance with the Switch, and then the big third parties weren't there straight away. But this is a completely different situation, and those third party publishers and developers, they're ready, aren't they? Those big ones, they're going to have their big games ready to port or new ones to launch. It'll be playing some of these really modern games on consoles now for the first time handheld portably. So it's going to be, that could be a really big show. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're all lining up to get their games out there and shown off at the same time.
Prepare your wallet, Josh. I know you've already been saving.
My save is ready, Drew. I can stop adding so much to it now, because I was aiming for April, May, and I reckon I can hold off a little now. And or maybe I keep saving hard and I buy all the accessories and I lug out of my EB games with a trolley full of goodies. Maybe I'm not sure at this stage, but it's it's exciting. I just want that pre-order, Drew. EB Games talking about pre-orders information coming out soon.
I did read Nintendo were aiming to sell 20 million this year.
That was a Bloomberg article, I think.
So that's a good sign. Hopefully we can get one of 20 million. Surely we can find one.
That's massive for half a year of sales. If that's if it's calendar year, if it's that's massive. If it's the rest of their financial year till the end of May, then obviously a bit more padded out. But
it's probably financial. They're probably talking financial years, I assume.
Yeah, so 9 months maybe of Switch 2. That's a lot. That's a big year. During the COVID years, I think 2021, that year, that got to 23 million or something sold in 1 year. So that's effectively like near peak COVID levels of demand for a console handheld, which is huge. And that gives me a lot of confidence that we're going to get one day one, but also that most people who want it are going to get it day one, and that's obviously going to lead to less scalping, less craziness. I feel with people rushing to get it that we've had with a lot of, like, especially PS5. That was bad for 18 months, 2 years, wasn't it? You just couldn't get one straight away. And obviously that's not an issue now, but that thing sold like hotcakes, and they just couldn't make enough of them. It launched late 2020, so it had its challenges with its launch timing, but Nintendo's very cognizant of that, and it sounds like it will be much, much smoother, which is great.
Yeah, I actually I saw the announcement. I watched it. I'm like, better go and check EB Games in case I do a sneaky little just put it up on the site, because that's what they did with PlayStation 5. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
but
no, I didn't pre-order it straight away. So
yeah, so I
okay, you got me worried now, Drew.
no, I don't think they'll do it again because they didn't do it with the Xbox Series X. But with the PlayStation 5, PlayStation said, stay tuned for the next generation of PlayStation. I woke up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. They did the reveal. They did the hardware showcase. I just went over to EB Games and there it is, PlayStation 5 pre-order. And considering it was one of the most infamously hard systems to pre-order and get for 2 years, I literally just went to EB Games. Oh, look, it's up. And they didn't announce it, didn't share it on socials or anything. It was just there, just went pre-ordered, bang. I'm like, oh my God, thank God for that. And it wasn't
Lucky.
It was like half an hour after it was gone. And it was gone for like 2 years or a year. It was just gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did go and check it out, just make sure. I don't think they'll do that again. But at the same time, the Xbox Series X, they came out and said, hey, look, next week, this time, this date, pre-orders go live everywhere. So EB Games, JB Hi-Fi. And that was so hard. I missed out at EB Games. I ended up getting it at Target, of all places. Just online, got it shipped to me. So yeah, it is gonna be tricky to get this pre-order in, but at the same time, hopefully we're good, because I remember for Switch, I think they were aiming for 3 million at launch worldwide, which isn't that much. But we're also coming off the Wii U, and people were just like, nah, Nintendo's dead type of thing, whatever. Until the word of Breath of the Wild got out, and 1-2 Switch actually, that's what really sold it. Everyone's like, oh, gotta feel the ice cubes.
5-6 million sold. It was a big game.
Yeah, and actually, that's the game I'm anticipating the most. Was it 4-3 Switch 2? It's gonna be great.
Groundbreaking with the mouse, integration, showing us all the things you can do that with the second USB port, extra charging.
Oh wow,
for those mini games, it's gonna be so great.
Yeah, there's gonna be a mini game where you gotta plug it into the 2 USB ports at the same time. It's just I don't know.
Yeah. So it could be good. But what did you think of the Mario Kart announcement? So we've effectively been hinted that there's a new Mario Kart, because it looks different enough. Not just visually, not as much. I was scared slightly at first. Is this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again? But then I saw it's a different track. The video isn't in 4K on YouTube, so we can't tell how good it looks. I don't know. In a way, it's a little bit hamstrung potentially, but we saw a new DK, the redesigned DK from the movie that they said that's going to carry on, and so he looks cool. I'm kind of warming to the new look of DK. We also saw 24 space starts, space lines for starts. So it's going to be 24 races in one race at a time, which is chaotic from the sounds of it. But that sounds fun. That sounds like if they can really get the online working for that, that will be absolutely chaotic. Imagine being in the top 3, getting a couple of red shells, and you drop to 18th or 19th. That's massive drop. So
yeah, a blue shell just goes off, and you just see 10 people go into the air.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
Well, the trailer first come on. I'm like, we actually see a game. Cool. So, my eyes are just glued open, and I'm looking at it. I think first impressions looks very similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Obviously, we look at the changes. We'll talk about them. But just as far as Switch 2, this is what it can do. And if you're looking at a Mario, I think most people will look at it and be like, that looks like Mario Kart. And the graphics don't look like, they're like, oh my God, all of that type of thing. So a little bit disappointing from that point of view. Yeah. I will say though, my biggest thing for Mario Kart that I want, this is what's on my wish list, is I don't really care if the next Mario Kart looks just graphically amazing or whatever. I think Mario Kart 8 on Wii U looked amazing, and I think it still does to this day. But the biggest thing I want is just them to really put money into a single player story mode. I think you could imagine, say, a Forza Horizon game. It's open world, you got tasks to do around the world, but that in the Mushroom Kingdom in Mario Kart, you're driving around, there's story player mode, there's missions, you're racing different characters. So there's a really massive, robust story mode, single player mode. And obviously with the multiplayer as well, I think you could do a lot of content that continues to update, new characters, all of that, events, and just go nuts. go nuts with the battle mode, even do like a battle royale. I think that'll be so fun in Mario Kart with balloons.
That'd be awesome.
So that's where my wish list comes from, Mario Kart. That's what's going to get me super excited for a brand new game. And from this trailer, we didn't get any information on that. I do wonder if there are actually 24 races. I wonder if it's just a part of the track, because it's kind of like they should have shown that. If that's one of the, I don't know if they just like left it out just to give a hint and for us to talk about and get the speculation going and the hype machine.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's
Not
something
sure.
maybe they should have shown. Just like, oh my god, there's so many races on this goddamn track, instead of us just being, because it was like a track based more off of like a more realistic real life racetrack. So I don't know whether that was just like a touch for that bit of visual flair there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to roll with it is though until we get it deconfirmed or whatever.
I just think it makes sense for them to make it bigger. More people in the one match. Obviously, the Switch 2 will be more capable of it. But yeah, like everything you mentioned, Drew, I think that's what Mario Kart needs now. We've been on, obviously Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe have been amazing games and extremely popular and system sellers, really. It's effectively been enough to help the Switch 2, the OG Switch get the great launch it had. But yeah, we've seen what other consoles with their online races can do, and this is Nintendo's chance to really sort of bring their spin to that and really make it a like you want to like go into these races all the time. There's events on, more customization, like easier to connect with your friends and talk to the voice chat to them online, just stuff like that. This game could be absolutely huge if they do it the right way, and I'm really hoping they will. Because yeah, again, it will be the reason why this thing could potentially sell the 20 million, units in the 1 year.
Yeah, because I'm just imagining like in Mario Kart 64 on what's the track called? But you know how the track you can go to Peach's Castle and just drive around?
Yes, Royal Raceway.
Royal Raceway, thank you. Yeah, imagine just doing stuff like that with your friends just online. Just even like, because a lot of people on Fortnite love just jumping into Fortnite and just chilling out, doing build mode or whatever have you, just chilling out, building stuff, shooting each other. Just sort of playing the game, but it's more of like a playground or a place to catch up. You can imagine like Mario Kart, just like even jumping into that with it's online. You can imagine just driving around, doing stuff together, and it isn't just like the arcade game of jumping in so you can win, but it becomes like a bit of a multiplayer hub and all that. There's so much they can do with it. Like I think that's what will get me excited, and I've been saying that for years. Because if they just do another Mario Kart game, it's like, oh look, we got 50 courses and there's the GP mode, and we're also adding a new guest character. We're adding Kirby. It's like it's kind of whatever at this point. I'm like, cool, I'll play it, I'll enjoy it, but it won't be anything particularly special. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Is just really evolve the series with plenty to do, and just a really robust single player mode. I think people have been asking for that for a long time, since like Diddy Kong Racing as well. Just like with the single player, how that game did it back on Nintendo 64. And Mario Kart's never really done it, or hasn't done it.
No.
So
that's right.
I'd like to see him do it. But
I would too. Yeah. So fingers crossed for that, definitely.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what games actually showcase this hardware, and whether we will be sort of graphically impressed by anything at launch. I think by the time Zelda and some of these other games come out, we will be. But like, if we see the 3D Mario, will we just be like, it looks like Mario? Like it is. It is what it is.
I do style.
Wonder.
It might see a bit more, denim in those overalls, detail-wise, things like that. So it will be, but yeah, I don't think that's, the game that really sort of spells out how amazing the console can output power. I think the third-party side, that's where that might come in a little bit more, where we can see that maybe initially at launch, unless Metroid Prime has something to do with Switch 2 as well. But again, we just don't know, but there's a lot they could do. There is a lot that they can do. They have stockpiled games, and they are ready for a big launch, because we waited long enough for this. They've made us wait a very long time, And they've done it deliberately so that everything lines up and everything's good to go. And that's what I'm expecting now. There'll be multiple games ready to go, and that launch year, the next 6 months after launch, will be very, very heavy with the good games.
Yeah, that's the thing about it not coming out at the start of the year either. We can't have a full, amazing first year. It'll just be half a year. It'd be a little bit disappointing because we look back to 2017, like, what a year. Like, we get the system, we get all these games. But now Switch 2, it's like, oh, no, we only get 6 months of it. No, what a letdown, you know? Oh.
Yes,
so, yeah, I'm very excited to get my hands on it. For us here in Australia, we can get our hands on it the 10th or the 11th. And in Melbourne, the centrepiece at Melbourne Park. So tomorrow I will be trying to get my ticket. I assume you will be too, Josh?
Yes, I will be.
Yeah. Look, I'll make the trip to Melbourne if I get a ticket. Obviously, it's a raffle, so we're not guaranteed whatsoever. I'm sure there'll be a few people trying to get their hands on this thing, and yeah, don't know. I don't have my hopes high, but I was talking to Bryce just earlier today, and yeah, if we both get a ticket, we'll make a trip over. And,
Bryce as well, very nice. That'd be great.
So I assume you'll fly over if you get a ticket, fly over for the day or something?
Flying over would be the easier way for me, for sure. Yes.
I don't live near an airport. Actually, I do, but it's very expensive. Maybe I could do the airport. We'll have a look at the tickets.
You'll have a look. You'll have a look. But I reckon you'll drive. You'll probably drive, though. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see.
We will see.
Seems like a pain in the bum, but I've got to feel those magnets, Josh. I've got to see what's going on.
Can't wait. It could be, less than 4 months before we get our grubby little hands on those bad boys, those magnetic Joy-Cons. And there could be some good stuff to play by then as well. Yeah,
we can play a little bit of backwards compatibility, Donkey Kong Returns. We can
Yeah. Imagine that's the first game you play, just Donkey Kong Country Returns HD on your Switch 2. That's just, that's the only way. It was very funny yesterday, the whole, everyone, refreshing their Twitter feeds and Nintendo posts about the Donkey Kong Country Returns HD Switch icons have just come out, and everyone's like, boo, 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 and I'm just laughing. This is very, very funny. This is, they've had a very interesting week, talking about Donkey Kong, pumping that up, obviously, but Emio got a bit of some love earlier in the week as well.
Like everybody's watching, just mark it away.
Yeah, mark it away. Their numbers would have been unreal the last week of just speculation. So, I hope Emio and Donkey Kong have gotten some extra sales from all this hype.
Yeah, someone's just waiting for Switch 2. They're like, oh, Emio, what's that? I'll buy it.
Maybe.
Might as well play stuff while you're waiting, guys. Stop clicking around on Twitter. You may as well just play a game on the stuff you already bought. You know?
Correct.
Stop clicking around. I know it's exciting. Actually, no, keep clicking around. Click on our podcast. Click on this.
Yes. Please do. Please join our Patreons. Please join our Discords. Support us in any way you can.
So yeah, very exciting. We've got a lot to speculate on over the next 2.5 months. Apparently, thanks Nintendo for that.
Yes, good times ahead.
But yeah, anything else we'd like to touch on before we wrap this one up? Because we've got a lot to talk about. This is just our first sort of impressions after it, but
yeah, we wanted to get something out pretty quickly, didn't we? Since the announcement, this is only under 12 hours since it's happened, so glad we could meet up and talk about it on our channels, Drew. I'm just glad it's out there. I'm glad it's official, and I'm excited to see what comes now from third-party developers and publishers. They can talk about it a bit more freely now, and so we'll get a few things hinted at. I'm sure there'll be some that will want to talk, there might be agreements with Nintendo about what they can announce right now, but we'll hear a bit more. And so I'm interested about that. I'm interested about OG Switch still, and how they market those games that there's gaps in the first half of the year still. Stuff has to come out. I would be very surprised if X is the last OG Switch game before the Switch 2 launches. So I'm thinking Feb we get a direct for OG Switch still. We get some announcements on Twitter or things like that. So, there's some interesting times ahead with how they play it out this year with the new console coming out.
Here we go. It's time. I just quickly had a look on Twitter just to see if anything else came out. Not seeing anything. I saw your post though, Josh. Sure, your post showing off the pictures and all that, but
yes,
no, didn't see anything.
Pictures, but
nothing too exciting.
No,
nothing new.
Yep.
Switch to its old news now. Give us something else. Give us more stuff, Nintendo.
But thanks everyone for listening and tuning in with us. Really appreciate it. We're going to have a big year, aren't we, Drew? With the shows, with both of our podcasts. I'm really excited to dig into what we are going to do this year.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big year, so stay tuned to the House Mario, Nintendvania, the socials, all of that. Check it out. Be links in, I guess, the show notes wherever you're listening to this.
Yes, but there will be.
Until next time, guys, let's get out of here, and we'll see you another day.
See you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.